hello. Happy December 9th. I am Licia Knudsen. I'm so glad that you joined today. Today, we're going to talking about the most wonderful time of the year. Well, for some people, for most parents, are like September when school start is the most wonderful time of the year, but that's a different story. So I'm so glad you joined us today. Today, we're going to talk about how to enjoy the holidays. And literally, you can apply this to any holiday, birthday, celebration, anniversary, whatever it is. But during the Christmas season, usually there's more stress in the shopping centers, stress at home. Banks are going, I'm not banks, but bank accounts are going down to zero. And why? So today, we're going to talk about some possible reasons why the holidays get so chaotic. We're also going to talk about some possible reasons why we may overspend during this time. And even some people go the opposite direction of um, not spending at all. And so we'll talk a little bit on that. But typically, the challenge is overspending. And so we're going to talk about some possible reasons why. And you will probably have your own. This is a conversation starter for you to think about the holiday seasons, okay? And more importantly, how to stay stress free or less stressed. All right. So here we go. Let's talk about some whys. Some whys Christmas may be so chaotic. The first one is our values. What do we value? What are we valuing during this time? Is it, gifts? Is it spending? Is it making sure that our kids have everything, the latest this and the latest that? What are our values? Because what we value about the holidays is what's going to be passed on to our kids. And what we value is going to really determine how we proceed, whether it's going to be more chaotic or peaceful, whether it's going to be more meaningful. So, what are your values? What's important about the holidays? What's important about the holidays? Is it goodwill? Is it serving others? Is it giving? Is it making sure we keep up with the Joneses? And as the kids say, making sure we're not skibbity, right? Ask your kids, why are we doing what we do during the holidays? So the first thing you want to consider is, what are my values? And what are the values that I want to instill in my children? Hello, everybody who's watching. Go ahead and write something in the chat so I know where you are, who you are. Sorry. So, what do we value, right? So, let's look at also our why regarding spending. Why do we spend like we spend? Many, many reasons. I'm just going to talk about a couple. A couple reasons why we spend the way we do, maybe, is our past. Now, for me, when I was growing up, I was what they call the baby firstborn, or the last child firstborn. There was 10 years between my brother and I. So I got hundreds of gifts, literally hundreds of gifts. Okay, because my brothers and all my sisters, they were all moved out. Literally hundreds of gifts. And so my value was, oh, I need to give my children all these gifts. I need to give my children this. I need to give them that. They need to have this. What? Only 5 presents? Are you kidding me right now? So my husband and I grew up completely different, where for him, for Christmas, he got socks, he got cards, and he got underwear. He got practical things. And that makes sense because there were 7 kids, right? I was like an only child. So we had to really come in agreement with how we were raised, to where he's like, oh, they can just get some socks, to which he does buy them socks for Christmas. But I'm the one like, oh, let's get him this toy, this. So my past influenced how I do Christmas. So we need to look, is our past driving us right now in how we do Christmas, how we spend, how we what our bank account's going to look like at the end? Could it be guilt? Maybe you didn't have a great Christmas, and maybe now you want to make sure that your child has every single solitary thing that they absolutely need. Could it be guilt? Could it be a mindset that you're holding on to that is driving you to spend more than you need to? Now, I've seen some people on the other side where they don't give their kids anything. Again, what's your mindset? How were you raised? And what are your values? Okay? And I really want to touch this really quick about the guilt part. I've worked with so many parents who parent out of guilt. And I'm telling you, guilt doesn't work in the parenting arena, because when we parent out of guilt, we say yes when we should have said no. We say no when we should have said yes. And we make decisions based on how we feel and the guilt that we're carrying and the burdens we're carrying, which we are never meant to carry. So check your why. Why am I spending? Okay. Let's talk about what we can do. What can we do to kind of offset some of this? All right. The first thing is we have to know our values. We talked about that. We have to know what Christmas means to us, to our children, to our partner, our spouse. We have to have those conversations. We absolutely have to have those conversations, because if you don't, you might be operating from two different mindsets, and then clashes happen, the chaos happen. One partner is saying, we're not spending $500 on gifts. And you're like, are you kidding me? Or just the opposite. Why are we spending so much money? That kind of thing. So decide your values. Do I want to make the holiday seasons something memorable? Do I want to make them meaningful? Meaning getting out there and serving in the community, helping the homeless, going to a food kitchen, or what do you call those? Homeless kitchen or shelter. What am I valuing during this season? And if you don't know, this is a good time to go sit down and figure it out. Even being a single mom, you still have to figure out your values. You still have to figure out what you want the holiday seasons to mean for generations to generations to generations, because your kids are going to pick up what you lay down, so to speak. Okay. The next thing you want to do is come up with a budget. Come up with a budget. Not only come up with it, stick to it. Okay. Now, in this budgeting thing, we know those of you who have teenagers, unless you've instilled some other kind of values, or they're not very materialistic, they're going to want the latest. They're going to want the latest shoes, the latest gadgets, the latest electronics, all of the things. Why? Because of social media, because of peer pressure, because of what people saying are hip, cool, and all the things. So, but remember this, your child is not just being materialistic, it's the world they live in. And I would venture to say that those of us who have teenagers, I'm a grandma, so who have teenagers, we could not survive in these teenage streets these days. Okay. They have a different code than we did, even within 5 years. They have different mindsets. They have different peer pressure than we did. It's wild. So when your kid's saying, I want this, this, and this, don't look at them like you're just being materialistic. Y'all, it's where they live and it's the kids there that's out there. It's social media. It's all those things. And let's be honest, what person, whether you grown folk or whether you're a teenager, does not want to fit in? Everybody wants to fit in. We all try to fit in, whether you're trying to fit in at church, whether you're trying to fit in on your job, whether you're trying to fit in your neighborhood, whether you're trying to fit in at school. Everybody wants to fit in. And if we keep it real, we do things so that we can fit in. Okay. So let's not just look down on our kids because they want all this stuff and they're trying to fit in. Truth be told, so do we. Okay. Keep it real. So do we. So get a budget, stick to it. And the next thing is you're going to have a conversation with your kids, even if they're little. You know, when Christmas came, right now we stream everything, so we don't see all the commercials, as many commercials, but it's just like you're bombarded with commercials. And the kids are like, I want this, I want that, blah, blah. You know, it's just like, oh my God, let's just turn the TV off until Christmas is over, right? So even little guys can understand a budget. Even little guys can understand, hey, here's what we got. Let's talk about what do you want and what's your favorite, right? So that you can keep your budget and still, quote, make your kids happy. Teenagers, this is not a good opportunity for you to teach them how to budget. Same with little guys too. This is a great opportunity to not just have them go, I want this, and think that this is like a microwave thing where we can push all the buttons and we get food really quick. We get whatever we want really quick. This is an opportune time to teach them, hey, you know what? Sometimes you have to budget. Sometimes you have to save for what you want. You just don't go broke just because you want the latest. So use this as an opportunity to teach your kids and start them young. So you're going to know your values, right? And then you're going to have a conversation and you're going to explain about the budget. You're going to explain that, hey, we've been spending a lot of money and that wasn't wise. And this is why we're making the change. They need to know that. And here's the thing about our kids being happy. We want our children happy. But you know what? As parents, that's not our job. Our job is not to make and keep our kids happy. Our kids will never always be happy. So let's just get that straight right now. Our kids will never always be happy. Our role as parents are twofold. One, prepare them for the future. Two, and to build a healthy relationship with them. Okay? That's it. Now, yes, we want them to enjoy their life, of course. But if we're going to make a decision because we don't want our children to be angry at us, nope, not not healthy. If your children never get angry at you, then I'm going to question some things. Because sometimes we make those hard decisions and our children, our teenagers do not like us, and that is okay. That is okay. And if that's a big deal for you, then again, let's go back and check, why is that a big deal? Why do I absolutely have to have my children like me? Because that's really not our role and it's really not our job. Okay. So that is really just a snippet. I'm going to produce a longer video, possibly, but I'm going to be doing some teachings on this. And those are just really just the main things I wanted to cover today, was to know your values, understand your why, create a budget. I do want to share this really quick tip. My daughter in love, which I love very much, she's doing this with her kids this year. She said they each get to pick, oh Lord, did I forget? Okay. They get to pick something they want, something they need, something to wear, and something to read. Something they want, something they need, something to wear, and something to read. So they're not going to be getting 60, 70 gifts this year. Not that they did, but they got quite a bit. But this makes them think. This makes them go, okay, what do I really, really want? What do I really, really, really need? Right? And it makes our children think about what's going on and get involved, and not, instead of just having a list of 100 things and expecting the parents to get it. Another thing that you can do too is have your child, teenager, write down top, say 5, right? Depending on your budget, top 5, top 3, whatever it is. So let's go with top 5. Write down your top 5 wants on a piece of paper. Then have them put them in order: 1, 2, 3. And then out of those top 3, what would be the thing that if you got it, they'd be like, I am set, I am cool, I'm good to go. Okay. So have them make a big list, shrink it down, and then put it in order. And then put a big old circle around. If I just got this one thing, I'd be set. Because what we instill in our kids is they're going to carry on into their adulthood. So, what do we want to instill in our kids? Okay. So, I hope this helped you. I hope you got something from this short live today. Um, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. I'm going to be doing so many great things. I'm going to be coming up with a parenting membership, which is sort of so affordable that, I mean, really, it's going to be affordable. If you can give up 2 cups of Starbucks, maybe 3 for the month, you can afford this membership. We're going to talk about real down to earth things that you're going to want to know on this parenting journey. And the last thing I want to say is to remember this, is that this is not a jolly season for everybody. There are some people who are hurting. There are some people who are homeless. There are some people who can't even afford gifts. There are kids in foster care. There are just so many needs out there. And I want to encourage you that during this time when we're all celebrating and we're budgeting and doing those things, that maybe budget something for a child in foster care or an angel tree project or giving to the community. I want to encourage you to also make that part of your values for your children, to look into the community, to see a need and meet it. There's so many organizations out there that can give you that opportunity to serve and to give. I am a big foster care person. I am a foster parent, and I'll be doing some classes on foster parenting. Go to your child and family services in your area and say, hey, do you guys have a like a giving tree or an organ or a way that I can give? Anything with children, I'm a big fan of. That's just a suggestion. Also in your community, there might be an agency called Foster the City. They didn't ask me to plug it, but I am. You might want to check there as well. So thank you for joining. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to share this and put the notification buttons on. This is getting ready to rev up. The Lord has really put it on my heart to really focus on the family, because the family is struggling. And so I'm going to be putting out quality material. And also in the chat, if you listen to this, write down some things you would like us to discuss during these times. Okay. And you can follow me on social media, all different platforms. And I love you. And one more thing, if you haven't known your values, or you've been spending too much, or whatever it may be, I just want you to know it is never too late. Never, ever too late to start. Okay? My dog is over here barking or choking. No, 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 don't. Okay. Um, Let me just pray for you real quick. Father, I thank you for each one who has joined today and those who are listening. Father, let them know that it is never too late, and give them the wisdom to set the budget, to understand their values, and let this time, which is really all about you, make this time meaningful for them so that they can pass on value and meaning to their children and generations to come. We thank you in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, you all have a fantastic holidays. I may or may not see you before then, but get ready for the New Year's, because it's getting ready to be on and cracking. I love you all. Thank you again. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.